Hello, today we have Metal Slug. This is the arcade version, which I'm playing off MAME. I do have a Wii compilation. I don't mean a little compilation, I mean a compilation on the Wii. But I'm giving this one a go. My goal today is to try and reach level 3 on 1 credit, which I think is 3 lives. If I remember right. Here I am trying to remember the buttons. They're a slightly odd order. I've played this more on the Wii and on the 360, not this version, but Metal Slug 3. I've played a lot on the Xbox 360. So I've got my shoot button in the middle here, jump button on the right hand side, grenade on the left hand side. That's probably the best way to have it, to be fair, but that's just the way the default layout of the buttons for playing through on MAME on my Xbox. I remember a surprising amount about this game. Playing through, it's MAME arcade, so I have obviously finished the whole thing because you just keep pretending to put money in and it keeps giving you lives. But I've always sought to try and get as far as I can on 1 life and all of them. And strangely, you can get far on some of it, but then there's occasions where there's just stupid patterns that you don't understand. So here I am in the titular Slug. And I'll say it even though it doesn't really need to be said. It's a gorgeous game. The pixel artwork is delightful. I love all the weird, chunky objects, chunky machines. The animation, it's all top notch. Used to absolutely nobody. But it is a joy to play and watch. Maybe even more so to watch, because then you get to really enjoy the animations. So this is the first sub-boss, mid-boss, something like that. Or maybe actually the boss of the first level. Dispatched with considerable ease. I haven't played this game in years. 3's the one I played the most because I really like the little submarines. But I've played this one a lot over the years in different ways. And here we are in level 2. I enjoy the sort of illusion of German World War II style. We very clearly dressed the army up to look like that in all of their iconography. I think the villain in this might be called Morton, but now I'm starting to doubt myself. It's nice to know I can set fire to people who are in the water. And when I'm rescuing these POWs, would it not have made more sense for them to use this weaponry? Perhaps then they wouldn't have been caught. Little fella sunning himself there as I send a relentless barrage of rockets. I'm not going to bother with that heavy machine gun because the rockets are much better here. Quality screams as always. Look at that little fella swimming away too. Never fails to impress me that a grenade or a bullet can move so slowly and still catch me out. Not that occasion, but I'll take the shotgun because it's a handy one for dispatching these wee scroats. I saved my shotgun ammo, put in a few grenades. I think the grenades must be more powerful than the rockets because I'm sure it takes considerably more rockets to put down one of those little mini tanks than it does grenades. So now this is a mid-boss. I'm pretty confident this isn't the end boss of this level. Off the tracks he goes. And I just gotta get up here. And I've made this hard for myself. Yep, very hard. Okay, well I will call that halfway through the second level. So let's take it again. Attempt number 2. I really like that Aztec style, if that's what it is. And this little jungle setup. Although the second level seems to be almost Parisian, so we are bouncing all around the place. And I've just noticed that that is a submarine that I'm walking on. I've never clocked that before. Somehow. The simple pleasures of setting men on fire. Don't forget that ladder. These wee frog men are quite lethal coming up here. Almost very lethal indeed. Accident load up on grenades, although when I'm in the slug, it's cannon shell, if that's the right term. It's frustrating taking out this helicopter with the Slug's machine gun because it goes where you drive, as in it points in the direction that you're driving. So it's not as easy as just firing up the heavy machine gun and taking them out, or the rocket, although I don't think they gave me a rocket at any point to take out a helicopter. And like all tanks, they blow their turret because that's how they should go up, because that's the most entertaining way for a tank to explode. And I think this thing's supposed to be like a big seaplane, although why it would have a cannon on the side, I don't know. Nicely ducked. Nicely jumped. Jesus, I'm on fire here. One to the chin. And of course the best point of being in the tanks, or any vehicles, is I think it takes a hit or two for you. The tank, I think it takes about 3 hits. And now back to our Parisian train station. And here we can just crawl along the ground, collect a teddy bear, and knife a man to death. Light them up. I think the flamethrower might be the most satisfying thing in the game. And I think there's always a different object when I come to that bridge, but I don't know if that means I can get it. That's it, don't waste the rockets. Actually, I've just seen what looks to be Big Ben in the background, so this must, I assume this is supposed to actually be London. Maybe this is the Thames we're fighting on. And there's the classic Thames boat that we see daily. I walked into that grenade. Get my shotgun. Execute those men. And that is very satisfying too. The cannonballs, whatever, they're supposed to be, move incredibly slowly from that. Well, probably not that slowly as they caught me out, but they're a whole lot slower than the bombs that fall from the helicopters, for example. Radio, attempt number 3, back to the Aztec jungle. Little birdies flying by. And what were those men going to do with that pig? POWs abounding on our submarine. And we'll get our flame shot. I can't get back up there, so I'll just burn these boys. I think there are points in the game where it will indefinitely spawn enemies. I think if I'd waited back there, I could have just kept setting them on fire till I ran out of flame rounds. And I forgot to go back and get those grenades. That was stupid. I'll get these ones. Little tank's also invincible for a while after a hit, which is good. Down goes the helicopter crashing into the fuel, but the fuel's okay. I've just noticed there's a big ship in the background. We're in some sort of shipyard, I assume. And a waterfall. And I've just realised we're fighting on top of a waterfall. So I've got the Metal Slug collection, I think it's called, on the Wii. I think that's got 6 games on it. They all play quite well, although with the nunchuck and the remote, the controls are dreadful. Because I think you have to shake it to throw a grenade, which is just daft. But I think if you plug in a GameCube controller, then you can use a proper button. But I bought the exact same game on the PlayStation Store for the PS4, because there's some PS2 games. That Metal Slug Collection was released on the PS2, so there's some PS2 games that play on the PlayStation 4, as you probably know. I think I've got Time Splitters and Twisted Metal Black or something like that, I think of that. But the Metal Slug on the PlayStation 4 has brutal input lag to the point where it's unplayable. You can still buy it on the shop, but I don't know why they haven't taken that down, because I think there might even be a warning on it when you go to buy it. But why sell something where there's something like this in particular? If it was a turn-based strategy game or big RPG, maybe you could get by with a tough dose of input lag, but something like this is virtually impossible to play. So don't buy it. I think I also have this on an SNK collection for the Wii as well, which might also be on the PlayStation 2, but I don't have that one. Just Metal Slug 1 though, no other Metal Slugs. Let's get down here and sort these boys out. Instantly collect my shotgun. It's much more efficient. And shoot a POW in the face and he gives you an award. That was slack on my part. Nicely dispatched. Now here comes the tricky segment. Well, not beating the railgun, but this whole point forward. So hopefully I can avoid these blue balls this time. Who are nicely done. And then let's just try and get up this ramp before I get boxed in by idiots. Success! See, and these rooftops in the background do not look London. Maybe it's just generic Europe. That went very quickly. Okay, and this is the boss of the second level. I think he sticks his head out of a door. Oh, that's not him. I'd like to try and hit it. Nicely jumped over it. I'd like to try and hit it with as many cannon blasts as I can. That's the sweet spot for those bouncing balls right there. Have I even been hit? Down he goes. Success. And there we have it. I've made it to level 3. Well, I will do in a couple of seconds. I remembered more of how to play that game than I thought I would, because I didn't think I'd make it this far so quickly. But this level's an absolute nightmare, so I'm not gonna manage to get very far in this one. Especially if there's a boss that he's got like a light machine gun and he jumps all around the place, and he's very difficult to kill. But if you haven't played Metal Slug, go and play it. It's fantastic. There is several of them available on most things. And a new one I got called Metal Slug, I think it's called XX. I say new, it might even be an Xbox 360 game. But I recommend all of them. And this has put me in the mood to play some more. So thank you very much.